Such a pleasure to be here today. My name is Matt Tennyson. I am Vice President of Partners and Business Development at Boostability. Boostability is a global leader of white-labeled SEO services for small business, with 30,000 customers in over 14, representing partners in over 14 countries and operating in over 9 languages. We've been in the partner market since 2011, and we've been in the European market and a member of Cinda since 2015. On that note, I wanted to take a second to say how happy I am to be back at Cinda. It has been since 2019 in Lisbon that I've been at a conference because I missed the Berlin one. And with so many amazing people and wonderful relationships that I've developed over the years, it's truly a pleasure to be here. So thank you all for coming, and thank Cinda for putting on this wonderful conference. My message today is simple. At least I hope to keep it simple. And my message today is that as providers of products and services for small business, we have a responsibility to focus on doing what is right for our customers, to focus on providing for them the things that they truly need more than the things that we might be really excited to sell them. We've all heard the expression, what's old becomes new. Now, there's value in this statement. There's a lot of truth in this statement because once something is truly amazing or awesome, it generally remains that way timelessly. We've seen this in many events and in many cases. Certainly, there are enhancements, technological advancements, innovations that make a thing become better over time. But often we see that the core value proposition of that thing remains constant or remains the same, even over the years. Now, I have 4 children. My 2 oldest daughters are 23 and 17 years old. A couple of weeks ago, my 23-year-old comes to pick up my 17-year-old for a sister date, and they're going to go out on the town and do some fun stuff. And as they were getting ready to leave the house, they come in and they say bye to Dad. And I notice what they're wearing, and it literally blew my mind. But in the most positive, best way that made my old dad heart really, really happy. They were literally wearing the same fashion and the same style that my friends and I were wearing when we were 20 years old back in 1992. It literally, they could have gone into my closet and grabbed one of Dad's shirts from 1992 and done this. And what this says to me is that, why? Because when it was awesome then, it has remained awesome, and it is still awesome today. What was amazing then still remains amazing, even to the point where a really super hip young 17-year-old can rock it all day long, and it still works. But how does this idea of what's old becoming new, or what may have worked in the past, still working in the present, apply to digital marketing for the small business? I'll use SEO as an example. I joined Boostability in April of 2011. I came from the traditional media space. I did not know much about the digital landscape, and so I spent a lot of time educating myself, studying, learning, reading articles, not only about the product of SEO, but about its accompanying products, such as paid search, which was really prevalent at the time, digital display and cost per thousand advertising in the digital display model, along with the landscape in which they resided and the types of customers and businesses that were taking advantage of it and the types of businesses that were selling it. And one of the things that I came across early in my study was a statement, an article by an expert that said, SEO won't last. Or in other words, SEO is going to go away, SEO is dying, SEO is dead. Now, I've been in the SEO world for 11 years, and every year for 11 years, multiple times from multiple sources, I've heard the words repeated, SEO is dead. Why are you doing SEO? Link building is dead. Keyword research is dead. All of it's dead. Está muerto. That means in Spanish, it's dead. So, but like something that once worked, I believe that what's old still becomes new. Because, well, with so many opinions, so-called experts, talking about this, on top of the truly wonderful new innovative products and technologies that are abounding, I think that it's easy to get a little bit lost in what our strategies need to be and how to define those strategies. But I will tell you this, the only thing that's dead is a business that can't be found online. You guys have all heard the joke, where do you want to bury the body you just killed? The second page of Google. So that's where businesses go to die. They go to the second page of Google. You want to be relevant, you want to be now, you want to be alive, you get found online. That's what it's all about. So, products like SEO, high-quality websites are more prevalent than ever. Hence, what was old and what used to work is now new and is still working because it's what small businesses need more than ever. I have dealt with tens of thousands of small business customers across the globe over the last 11 years. And the one thing that's always on the forefront of their mind when it comes to their digital marketing needs or what they really want from their digital marketing is threefold. I want, first, more customers. Second, I want to be able to engage them on a higher level. And third, man, I really want them to come back and buy from me again. Now, I'm not saying that SEO is the silver bullet to this three objectives solution. In fact, there is no one silver bullet to conquer all three of these objectives. You need multiple bullets. You need lots of bullets, and you need lots of arrows in your quiver. But what I am saying is that there is logic, intelligence, and a certain order of operations that need to go into how you utilize and shoot these bullets and shoot these arrows. What I am saying is that before you can engage a client, you need to find that client, or better yet, that client needs to be able to find you. Before you can get their repeat business, you need to win their first business. My message today is a simple one and an old one, but I think it's a message that needs to be renewed. Innovate by leading with a strategy that first focuses on getting customers in the door, that second focuses on serving them well, treating them well, and engaging them well, and that third focuses on getting them back through your door again, again, and again. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Matt. We're going to do the questions at the end after Rahul, so because we wanted to have that also conversational. So Rahul, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Great presentation, Matt. Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rahul. This is the first year for Pato team at this in the event, so I'm really excited about this event and really looking forward to connecting with all of you and really understanding and learning how we can bring more empowerment to small and medium businesses on their digital journey. We actually enable businesses to, of course, get found, but this is in our DNA and in our core values that we think that we enable businesses to get closer with their clients. Before we understand how SMBs are evolving today, I think it's very critical to also understand how consumers and users today are behaving online today. If you really look at the traditional ways how we went on to find a business a couple of years ago, we would heavily rely on traditional Yellow Pages books. We would probably use word of mouth, but this has drastically changed over the last couple of years. We rely on third-party publishers. A lot of new generation actually go on social media. So this actually creates a lot of different data points for businesses today where they can do the lead generation. So moving on, which is Google My Business. I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with it. If you look at the evolution of Google My Business, it has drastically changed over the last 10 years. And this is, I believe, one of the critical problems for most of the businesses today, how we really equip ourselves with what's new in the market. So if you really look at what Google My Business was 10 years ago, it's very different today. And that's exactly what SMBs need to tackle and find an easy way to adapt to it. Also, something very critical is the SMBs needs a nifty tool or a solution today that really enable them to, of course, find a different solution that they can really use today. So, of course, there are reviews, which is very, very important. There are also booking management, click and collect. So one single interface that really unifies all the product and services that SMBs could use today. Talking about three pillars for every business today. First one that we strongly feel is getting found. This is one of the most important pillars for every business. How do I increase my visibility organically? Second one is, once my location is found, is discoverable, how do I actually get chosen? So if I'm a business in this XYZ neighborhood, there's another business just right next to me. How do I make sure that the customers or the user choose my business? So I think we believe this is the second fundamental of how businesses really wants to evolve. Third one is the get clients. This is the most important one. We could give the most interesting, fancy technology to these businesses today, but end of the day, it lies down to one single result, which is, does this technology really help me to get this client in the door? So really looking at getting found online. So I'm pretty sure everybody's aware of how different queries come on online today, but I would like to put focus on the discovery search. This is where most of the businesses really need to put themselves out, because that's where, because you can use different ways to organically show up in the discovery search, that will really help you stand out from your competitors. Optimization is also a very, very important part of how a location is found organically. So businesses using attributes, using a lot of pictures, also being very spontaneous when it comes to responding to the reviews, and also enabling them to use the new ways how Google is evolving is really important. Getting chosen. This is where the review part comes in. This is what I tell to all my peers today, where, well, people say like, I don't have time to respond to a specific review. What would you ask, or what would you say to a customer when they visit your store? When they say, I love your service, of course you respond to them and you say, yes, thank you, please visit us again. Why don't you do the same online? And that's exactly the review management functionality enable them to do at a very simple and a friendly way. Conversation on the local search. This is where we really need to understand the importance of reviews. So reviews really enable these businesses to come up in the local SEO organically, and the number of reviews and the freshness of these reviews on your local listing has a huge impact on how you get found. Messages, this is also something new, but been very well accepted by the SMBs today. That really enables them to centralize their messages coming from different publishers and platforms like Google, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. And how exactly we do it? So Pato is a tech company that is originally based out of Paris, and we recently did an acquisition of Pulp. So this will really enable us to create a new product, which we will be going to call Pato for Restaurant. This really enables restaurant businesses to digitalize their digital menus and also enable them to do a transaction over a specific app. So this will really enable restaurants to do the click and collect and also the transaction. Currently at Pato, we are around 300 plus people operating in about 5 countries with the offices and with presence in about 100 plus different countries. The most important part that I personally feel very proud of is that we have a 98% renew all across different partners and the customers working with us. So this really gives us the motivation that the values that we stand by, which is to endorse the simplicity and impact and the instant value, is something that is well received by our partners and our customers. And looking at what Pato is as a product, so today we have 3 pillars of our product. First one is visibility, where we enable locations to enhance their online presence, and of course, store locator and news and social media posts, which is also a great way for these businesses to create Facebook and Google posts. The next one is the interaction. This is where the review management and review booster which is to enable these locations to respond to reviews in a better way, but also increase the 5-star rating on their Google My Business is part of interactions. And then transaction is where we include the booking management and the order management. A couple of partners that really rely on us on the tech side. So we work with quite a few interesting food aggregators around the world. We also work with traditional Yellow Pages. So Editors, one of our partners, is also here. So feel free to say hello to them later on. We also work with a lot of diverse vertical that work with doctors, also work with small vendors. So it's a really wide range of products and partners that really rely on our services today. So thank you so much for listening to me.
Thanks, Raul. Thank you, Raul. Thank you, Matt. So opening the floor for questions now. Is anybody having one? If not, I have one. So we've seen on some of the former presentations, if you remember the MarTech, 2000, so not thinking about what MarTech in the metaverse could be, or metaverses could be. I mean, this can be exponential. So the question is, I guess everything relates to trust. So how do you make sure that you are the trusted advisor of the SMB? This would be my first question. And second question would be regarding getting found. So do you think that organic is here to stay, or is it going to be much more oriented into verticals, especially if you think about this like universe development? So trusted advisors and verticals approach. That would be my two questions for both of you.
I'd be happy to speak on the trust aspect. A lot of people trust people they like. So I think relationships are important, but I think what speaks bigger than relationships is data. And so when you're talking about advising someone, you need to have hard data that backs that up. For instance, when it comes to SEO, we have 30,000 some plus campaigns in our platform. That affords us the ability to track over 3 million keywords a month. Google doesn't hiccup that we don't know about it. And we know about it long in advance of them ever announcing an algorithmic change because we're constantly analyzing the data. If you look at the typical life cycle of a keyword, hopefully it's going down, meaning like from page 10 to page 1, but it's never in a straight line. It's always zigzagging like this. And every time there's zigzags, it's because something's going on. And when you study these anomalies enough, you come to find what Google is looking for. Google is actually really wonderful with all of their updates because they're literally tipping their hat and telling you what they expect, what type of content they want, how they want it written, what's good practice, what's bad practice. And if you have enough data to be able to understand what they're looking for, because it is cryptic, then you're able to pass that on to your partners and provide that.
And I think on the trust part, what I personally feel is that when it comes to SMEs, they don't really come from the same mindset as a medium-scale business or enterprise business would have. They don't have the same resources, mindset, and skill. So really simplifying and giving them a product which is really appealing to them and could really engage them is something that would really help a organization or any technology company to build that reputation and that trust with them. So simplifying the technology, focusing on the instant impact that you can bring to these SMEs today is also very critical because I feel, unfortunately, small and medium businesses, they don't have that much of patience when it comes to really using the technology. They want everything instantly. So really putting that element into your product is also, I think, something very, very critical.
Yeah. Thank you. Any question? Yeah, John.
Thanks, guys. Hey, Matt, can you give us a quick overview on the boostability view of how mobile is impacting net SEO traffic? Because there's two rumors, right? The first one is SEO is dead, and the second one is, well, SEO is not as important anymore because Google is pushing organic traffic off of page 1 on mobile. So can you help us understand, is that true? Is that another one of these rumors that we shouldn't believe?
Thanks, John. obviously, mobile search is incredibly important, and I don't even know what I can't even keep up with what the latest stats are with regard to mobile search versus desktop search, but desktop search is basically, that is something that I believe is actually truly dying, right? I don't know. I think we can be pretty safe with that. You know, my view of it is that it's all organic. Whether it's local results or whether it's true organic results, both are accomplished through the combination of local SEO and listings along with the more robust forms of on-site SEO and content marketing-based link-building SEO. It's when you do a full-service SEO campaign, they're both a part of each other. So really listings piece, or local SEO, as some people would call it, listings management and the proliferation of your company's information on those business citation sites, is the first step of the full-service SEO piece, and then the regular SEO is just an extension of that. What I do know is this, John, is that I favor a strategy in where you dominate their search results page. And that means that you show up well in the local search results, whether it's mobile or desktop. You show up well in paid results, and then you also, of course, show up well organically. And from our latest market studies, the average consumer doesn't discern a local listing from an organic listing. What they discern is they know the company didn't pay to be there, they deserved to be there. And so either way, I believe that the mission is accomplished, whether you are listed local or you're listed well organic. I hope that answered you, John. Okay.
Any other question? Yeah, if not, thank you very much, Rahul. Thanks very much, Matt. You guys are around also in the exhibition. So.